Hello and welcome back to the channel, or hello if you're here for the first time. I'm Richard, I make Doctor Who videos, Doctor Who discussions, Doctor Who collection and merchandise based stuff, including monthly collection updates, and all sorts of stuff about the current era of the show as well. So if that floats your boat, please do feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Today I'm going to be discussing the Daleks, Doctor Who's most iconic baddie, or monster, or alien, or whatever you want to call them. And in particular, I'm going to be doing a bit of a U-turn on a video that I did at the start of this year, sort of back on New Year's Day or whenever, when I proposed that the Daleks might not just be in Eve of the Daleks, the first of the 2022 specials, but they might be in all three. And obviously, as far as we know now, that is not actually happening. They're not going to be in the Easter special because that is obviously a Sea Devil episode. And as far as the Centenary special goes, in October, Jodie's last story, on the one hand, yeah, I guess they could be in it, but my gut feeling now is that we have seen the last of the Daleks in this era. For a couple of reasons. I mean, number one, Eve of the Daleks was quite a good send-off for them and for the Bronze Daleks, as a lot of people have said. Seeing them getting blown up in the warehouse at the end of that story was a sort of good send-off for that particular Dalek design, potentially, if that is the last time we see them. And also, given that the Vanquishers, the Flux finale, reused footage from Revolution of the Daleks, when the Daleks featured very briefly in their spaceship, that to me suggests that they're not in the Centenary, because otherwise they could have used some footage from the Centenary, to stand in that episode instead. Which leads me on to the main thrust of this video, which is the fact that potentially we're not going to see the Daleks again until 2024. I mean, certainly I'd say now, not until RTD2, the second RTD era, when Russell T Davies returns. Sort of at the end of 2023, it looks like now, for the 6th anniversary, and then also then for series beyond that. There is a possibility that the Daleks could be in the 60th anniversary, either as the main antagonist or one of a few. I mean, they were in The Day of the Doctor, the 5th anniversary special, obviously. They were in, very briefly, in The Five Doctors, the 20th anniversary special. So there is a bit of a precedent there. And I think, for such a big blockbuster celebratory episode, and for Russell's first episode as well for this new era, I can sort of see them wanting to do a big Dalek story, maybe like a big Dalek space opera or something. I think that'll be particularly nice, given that the past 3 Dalek stories we've seen where they were the main antagonists have all been Earth invasion stories. I also think that, with Bad Wolf taking over production and with this whole new era beginning for the show, that would be the perfect time in particular, not only to bring the Daleks back, but to launch a brand new Dalek design, because, presumably that the funding would be in place there to do, new bits and pieces. Presumably there's going to be a new TARDIS interior set, for instance, and all those things that you get at the start of a new era, where you've got more money than you would have at the end of a season, for instance, when the buckets all run dry. So I think, yeah, I can see them going down the route of including the Daleks there and using that as an opportunity to launch a new Dalek design, because it would be the perfect opportunity to do that in terms of having that funding available, and also just because it is the 60th. I mean, we don't know quite what form the 6th anniversary is going to take, whether it's going to be looking back to the past much or more to the future with the new Doctor, and whether indeed the 14th Doctor is going to make their debut in that story. But regardless, to be honest, whichever way they go with it, I can see them doing a Dalek story. And whether that means having the first post-regeneration story to feature the Daleks since 1966, since the very first one, Power of the Daleks, or, if the 14th Doctor isn't in it, just like a celebratory special with previous Doctors and past Doctors going up against the Daleks, or whatever form the episode takes, I think that is the most likely outcome here. So basically, what I'm saying here is I don't think we're going to be seeing the Daleks again in the Whittaker/Chibnall era, and I think the earliest we could see them again is the 60th anniversary special, or one of the series beyond that Russell T Davies is helming. So yeah, if this is correct, we're not going to be seeing the Daleks again for nearly 2 years. I mean, basically until 2024. Even if they are in the 60th, that's going to be very, very late in 2023. So it's basically just going to be 2024, essentially just a couple of months off. I think that is the most likely outcome. I think they will want to have the Daleks in the 60th, depending on what sort of story they're going for. I mean, obviously as well, just very briefly, the sort of infamous, mythical, supposed Terry Nation contract, or so-called Terry Nation contract, which requires the Daleks to be in the show, I think every year, every series, or something like that. That always comes up into this conversation. I mean, personally, I don't put much stock in that supposed Terry Nation contract. because, you know, various people over the years, I think Stephen Moffat was one of them, you know, have basically denied that it's a real thing. And yeah, it might be, it might not, you know. I think either way, even if it's not written into law that the Daleks have to be in the show every year, it is in everybody's interests to have the Daleks in the show, you know, as often as possible and ideally every year. I mean, the Daleks are one of the most iconic parts of the Doctor Who brand, really, so you can't really blame them for wanting to use them again and again. But what do you think about all this? Do you think we're going to be seeing the Daleks again in the Jodie Whittaker era, or do you think we're going to have to wait until RTD2? And when they do return, do you think it's going to be the Bronze Daleks again, or a different design? Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. As I say, do subscribe if you haven't already for more Doctor Who related videos. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.